Welcome to First Take exclusively on YouTube. I'm Shae Cornette here with David Dennis Jr. and Vincent Goodwill. We're going to get right into it. We're going to college basketball. It was an ugly night for Kansas State men's hoops as they lost 91-62 to Cincinnati at home. Several fans in the K-State student section wore paper bags over their heads in frustration over the Wildcats' performance. And K-State head coach Jerome Tang went a step further with his post-game comments. Listen up.
This was embarrassing. These dudes do not deserve to wear this uniform. There will be very few of them in it next year. I'm embarrassed for the university. I'm embarrassed for our fans, our student section. You know, it is just ridiculous. We got practice at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, and we will get this thing right. I have no answer and no words. So y'all got two questions. So whoever want to ask two questions, I'll answer them to the best of my ability right now. But right now, I'm pissed.
Wow, we couldn't tell. You're pissed. Was Coach Tang out of line for what he just said? Vincent, why don't you go first?
I hate to say this, but maybe he wasn't considering the state of affairs of college sports these days. It is professional sports. When you look at, these aren't student athletes anymore. There's no academic standard that's being held. A lot of these kids, I don't know, Kansas State's NIL situation, so I don't want to speak out of turn. But also, maybe Kansas State with a 10-14 record being 15th in the conference, maybe David Dennis, they should be looking at a new head coach more than new players because they're going to switch out new players with this NIL situation anyway. So maybe Mr. Tang should be looking for a new job.
Yeah, maybe it's the gentle parenting in me, but I didn't like what I heard there. And this makes me happy for NIL. When you have players who can listen to a coach say these things and basically saying, I'm going to fire you by next season. I'm glad that there are players who say, you say that, guess what? I don't want to play for you anymore. I'm out of here. And it balances the scales a little bit. I didn't like what I heard. I'm going to give a little bit of grace because he was very upset. Hopefully he apologizes to his players, hoping they fix these things because, you know, temperatures do get a little high after losses like this, and hopefully they can come together. But overall, that was just bad form for a press conference for him to say that.
Come on now. If a player said this, we would be lambasting them on all forms, okay? For a coach to get up there, it's one thing to use a motivational tactic like, you don't deserve to wear the uniform, we embarrassed ourselves today, fine. But then to say you're not going to be here next year, like, come on. And then expect them to show up at 6 a.m. to work double as hard. Oh, and by the way, K-State's next opponent, the number 3rd ranked team in the country in Houston. Okay, good luck with that. You're about to get blown up by double figures one more time, okay? It's just...
Shae, I don't think you're wrong.
Right?
Shae,
yeah, you said you agreed.
I just think it speaks to, I think it just speaks to the professionalization of where we are with college football and college basketball, that a coach feels like he can say those things because he's not talking to student athletes, that he's talking to his employees. Mm-hmm. That's the bad. It's the bad part. It's the culture. You're looking at sort of the symptom of it. I'm looking at the greater picture of this whole thing. No, it was ugly. It didn't sound good. But right. When you hear the way that coaches talk about players nowadays, anyway, this is just the next step. When you go, imagine what you're going to see next college football season when the stakes are so much higher, when all these coaches get hired and fired based off of where they land in a playoff situation. This is not going to be an anomaly. This is going to be the norm in college sports. It's ugly. I don't like it, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, that's fair. Not surprised is okay. It felt way too far.
I hate to break it to you, but coaches have been talking about their players and talking to players like this before NIL. This is just how coaches have been. Now players can actually do something about it, which is the thing I like.
But not with a microphone in a post-game, not saying they won't be here next year. It's become so easy now with the portal, and that is something that could be realistic. It just felt like it went a step too far. Let's go to the NBA, where the Pistons took down the Raptors 113-95 in their final game before the All-Star break. Cade Cunningham continued his outstanding play, leading the team with 28 points. So with the win, the Pistons continue to hold a commanding lead in the East as they are 5.5 games above Boston. They are tied with the Thunder for the fewest losses in the NBA so far this season. Earlier on First Take, Stephen A. was all in on Detroit.
I think Detroit Pistons is the best team in the East. I think the Detroit Pistons could win the chip. I think they're that damn good. I love their athleticism. I love their size. I love their girth. I love their attitude. I love their perimeter shooting. I love Cade Cunningham. I love their coach, J.B. Bickerstaff. I love everything that I'm seeing from the Detroit Pistons. They are the best team in the Eastern Conference right now. And let me tell you something right now. If I picked the Knicks to beat them right now, it would only be due to emotion.
Who is more likely to win their conference? Will it be the Pistons in the East or the Thunder in the West? Didi, what do you think?
I'm still going to go with the Thunder. I mean, they started the season off as dominant as we've ever seen, 24-1. Some injuries that plagued them. I'm worried about what's going on with J-Dub and sort of those soft tissue injuries, things like that. But when SGA comes back, they will reestablish themselves as the best team. They have a little bit of a harder path with Denver, with San Antonio, but I still have faith in OKC that they will be the team most likely to represent their conference in the finals.
Okay, so OKC for Didi. What do you think, Vinny?
I tend to agree with David. I'm going to take a different track. The last team in the NBA to go from not winning a playoff series the year before to going to the NBA Finals, and then you didn't add Kevin Garnett in Boston, you didn't add LeBron to the Cavs or LeBron to the Heat, like taking away those big-time acquisitions, was the 1995 Orlando Magic led by Shaquille O'Neal and Penny Hardaway. They got knocked out in the first round in '94, swept, and then went all the way to the NBA Finals, i.e., it is really difficult to go through the entire playoff run, through an entire conference, even though you have the best record, even though all the numbers and metrics say that this team is as great as they appear to be, I still think they have some lessons to learn. I still think you have to go through the gauntlet of the playoffs, be disappointed, win a round or two. They still haven't, Shae, won a home game at Little Caesars Arena in the NBA playoffs because they lost all three to the Knicks last year. I think it is unrealistic to have that expectation for the Detroit Pistons this year. I think the Oklahoma City Thunder, despite the fact that no champion has gotten out of the second round of the playoffs as a defending champion since 2019, that's a really hard track, but I still give Oklahoma City, because they have youth, they have championship equity, and I've seen them go through it, I give them the edge over a team that has not even won a playoff series yet.
Yeah, the Pistons feel like they're still kind of coming into their own. Scary coming into their own, I will say, whereas OKC has obviously been there recently. Hey, thanks for watching First Take exclusively on YouTube. Check us out weekdays at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. We'll see you all tomorrow.